Hey everyone, you are listening to We Are in This Together, and today I kind of want to talk about something that really came to my mind strongly with everything that's going on in the world. Most everyone is aware of what's happened lately with George Floyd and all the things really that have happened lately in the world, and it's been a little crazy. Not a little crazy, a lot crazy. And it's hard to navigate. It's hard to know kind of what's really going on and what to trust and what to feel even, because I don't know, at least for me, it just seems no matter what day I wake up to something new that I have never really experienced or I need to process. So it got me thinking. It reminded me of an experience that I had in my life. And I think it's perfect for right now. And I just want to preface it by saying this is just the way that I see things. It doesn't mean that you have to see it this way. It doesn't mean that we have to adopt this this type of thinking. But I truly believe that it's going to take both sides. I'm a white woman. I'm not Asian. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not black. And I don't know what it's like to be Asian or be Hispanic or be black. But I want to try to understand in any way that I can, because I love to be understood. I love to be listened to and heard and seen. And I want to offer that to all my fellow friends and humans. So I want to tell you about an experience that I had the very first time that I ever saw a black man. I was 4 or 5 years old. So my mom had me when she was 17. And so when I was 4, she was still really young. And we were at a grocery store. And my mom said that she was holding me, so I was kind of draped around her, holding her onto her neck, and a black man stood behind us. My little 4-year-old self pointed to him and said, "Monkey." My mom just about crawled in a hole and died. She froze. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say. She just froze. And the most beautiful thing happened. I got down from where my mom was at, and the black man looked at her, and then he looked at me, and he walked over, he knelt down, he pulled out my hand, he put his hand next to my hand, he turned my hand over, he turned his hand over, he pointed and he touched my hand and he said, "Look, see? We're the same." My mom was so grateful for that man's kindness and love and teaching, because she didn't know what to do or say in that moment. And I left seeing him just like me. This has really sparked a lot of thoughts in me lately. Same goes for those who are gay or bisexual or straight. All of the things that have been really in our faces, I guess you could say, in the last few years, about people not being understood or seen or heard or loved or accepted. And to be honest, I really took this experience and recognized that there is some responsibility that lies on both sides. And this is what I mean by that. Because I do not understand what it's like to be in their shoes, to be in your shoes, to be in someone else's shoes that I'm not in, how else am I going to learn unless I take the responsibility to seek it out, number one? I remember I have a black friend who I went to him and I said, hey, I just have a question for you because I don't really understand and I want to be sure that I am not ever offending. I said, what's the best way to refer to a black human, black male or female? And I said, I've heard colored before. I've heard this before. I've heard this before. I don't know. What, can you explain it to me? And he was so grateful that I asked him. And he said, you can just say black. It's okay. And I said, okay, what about this? And I would ask him a couple more questions and all that. And it really also made me recognize too that let's just put this together. Let's say that there is an Asian woman and a white woman hanging out together. And the white woman says something that the Asian woman takes offense to. The Asian woman has, I feel, now this is just me talking, but I feel the Asian woman has an opportunity in that moment to change things, not only for one person, but a generation of people who that one person will then go and speak to. This is what I mean. What if in that moment, instead of getting offended and shutting down, what if in that moment that Asian woman takes the moment to take the courage and the bravery to say, hey, when you say that, this is what it brings up in me. This is how it feels. This is what I have grown up with. And this is why a lot of us are feeling X, Y, and Z. Now, I really feel, especially if it was me, and I tend to believe in the good of people more than I believe in the bad of people. But I believe that more often than not, if it's presented in that way, a lot of people are going to respond better. A lot of people are going to go, oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Wow, thank you for sharing that with me. And vice versa. What if a Hispanic person says something to a black person or a white person or anything, and what if the white person is offended? You know what I'm saying? Like all these, I'm going to say labels, but all these things of cultures or races or identity or religion even. I mean, we have all these things that are over us, but at the end of the day, we are a walking human with a heart that beats the same. Maybe a little different, but you know what I'm saying? Like we each have souls. We each are humans, and we each long for love and understanding, and to be seen, and to be heard, and to be felt, and acknowledged, forgiven, loved. And I feel like the responsibility lies with every single one of us. We all have opportunities every day to actually do good, like that black man did for me when I was a little baby. What if he hadn't done that? What if he would have gotten offended and angry and yelled at my young mom who was so mortified and didn't know what to do, wasn't taught what to say? What if he would have screamed at her and me, this little child? What would that have done? But instead, he probably put some hurt aside and took the opportunity to make it a teaching moment. And guess what that did? It's not only affected my mom and me, it affected my brother who came along later, my sister who came along later, and it's affected all of my children. It's affected all the people that I'm telling about this situation. It's the ultimate way to actually make change, in my opinion. Now, not everybody is going to take that, right? There's not going to be people who are going to go, oh, wow, thank you for telling me that. I'm so sorry you felt that way. Because some people have way strong beliefs in certain things that they won't see your side. They won't hear it. But why not try? This is going to take every single one of us. This is going to take each one of us looking honestly and being brave to say something and learning the skill of how to present that to someone. to be able to put our hurt, to put our anger, to put our years of the feeling of being repressed or the feeling of being overlooked or looked at differently, to be able to put that aside and be able to look at the human and say, you know what, I'm going to give this person an opportunity. I'm going to give this person the opportunity that I want, because I want the opportunity to be looked at differently too. Right? It just makes sense in my brain. But I can't do that alone. I'm going to sure try. But if we can all do this, I just feel like it will make such a huge difference. We each have the responsibility. We each have opportunities to teach one another, and we can help one another too. What if we're in a group of people and somebody says something and you know personally how that feels and you don't even know that person, and you're sitting there going, ooh, I should say something, but I'm not going to. It's a missed opportunity to change lives, to help other people who feel the same way. I just feel so strongly that each one of us have to be willing to kind of get over ourselves, to be honest, to get over our anger and our hurt long enough to take that small opportunity to be brave for 20 seconds, to go up to that person and say, hey, I just need to tell you something. And I don't want to, cause any problems here, but I really feel strongly that when you said this, it makes us feel like this. When you say this, it makes me feel like this. Did you know that? And just see what happens. You're not going to get it right all the time, and there's going to be people who will not receive it. But I think more often than not, most people will receive it, and I think they're screaming for it. I know I am. Like, please help me to understand you more. Please help me know what I can do every day with my children that I teach every day, who are going to go out into the world and meet more humans of all different walks of life. Teach me so I know what to teach them. Teach me so that I know what to say to my fellow humans that I love and that I don't know yet. Help me learn, because I wasn't taught certain things, right? None of us were taught the same. And how are we ever going to learn it unless we really, really have that opportunity to learn and to try it out? I just feel so strongly about this. I want to be brave enough to ask the hard questions. I want to be brave enough to say, hey, I have a question for you, and it's a really sensitive subject, but I really want to understand, and I really want to learn. What do I do when X, Y, and Z happens? What do I say when I da-da-da-da-da? If I say this to you, how does that make you feel? Can you help me understand your side of what you're experiencing when X, Y, and Z happened? It has to come from choosing love and learning, honestly. It has to come from being willing to recognize that we don't know everything. And we can try all we want to say, oh, I understand how they feel, blah, blah, blah. I've done this and I've done that and all these things, right? And we've all felt verbally attacked. We've all felt repressed in ways. We've all felt looked over. I remember me growing up, people really judged me and discluded me. Discluded, is that a word? Didn't include me in things. And they judged me because of the way that my family was. They wouldn't let me play with their kids. They would hide their kids when I'd come around, honestly. And they'd look down on me. And I could have looked at all those people, because they were all different walks of life. I could have looked at those people and blamed them and hated them and went and TP'd their house or whatever it was, right? But I had to recognize they just don't know. And how are they going to learn? How are they going to learn? Unless I say something. Or unless, we figure it out together. And I don't know. This is just something I found because I do come from a very diverse family. And I'm pretty proud of my diverse family in many ways because we all really try to see each other with love regardless of anything we believe in. I don't know. It's just an idea, right? But I'm all about self-experimenting and trying it out and just seeing what happens. Because the only way we're going to find anything that will really work or stay or help is if we try something new. Or if we try something different and keep trying until something works. And there's been a lot of frustrations and fights and even hurt feelings as our family has tried to work through a lot of those things, right? Like I'm talking about my whole family, my extended family, every side of my family. And it takes some practice. It takes trying. It takes being in fire of contention sometimes to hash it out, and you learn and you grow and you learn to love each other and understand each other despite anything else. So as all these things are going on throughout the world, I guess as my heart is breaking, I am also remembering the beautiful moments in my life where other people help me learn. And that I can learn more by asking more. And that there's things that we can do and try. It's not hopeless, even though sometimes it feels like it is. So I guess that's my challenge. Where you're at right now, recognizing that we don't understand everything. So what can I do right now to try to understand? Who do I know who I can reach out to try to understand more and help teach me so I can help others too? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your families are healthy. The people that you love are doing well. And I just hope and pray that somehow through this madness, each one of you who are listening can find peace and hope and a small action, even if that means being brave enough to ask the hard questions or being brave enough to hear the answers. Take them in. All right. That's enough for today. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk next time.